You see, consciousness is really the computer of our brain, of our mind. It's more powerful than the computer that I've been using or you've been using, because it's vast, it's very big, it's very complex. It is the consciousness and man's mind that made the computer, not the computer that made man's mind or its brain. So it's ultra, super powerful. Now, on the topic of consciousness, I've got this thing to share today about the flow. You see, Monday morning, it's the start of a new week, and a great Sunday, and then Monday is normally the working day. I am Mr. Mom, one who has all my children raised. My wife passed away, so today I serve as a mother and a father, and I give myself the creative title of Mr. Mom. And many of you who read my Facebook will see that image there. Now, the flow is simply this. How do you get this flow? See, your mind, our brain, our consciousness is very complex. Sometimes there's too much data there. It's so powerful, it's storing more than the 2 terabytes that I bought the other day for 260 ringgit for 2 terabytes. This brain, this mind of yours is free. You got it at birth, and your parents probably paid some money for your delivery and so forth. But basically, you got it for free. And with this brain of yours, with this mind that you can have, and the consciousness that results, if you do not know how to nurture it, if you do not know how to create a culture, a good culture of habits, then it can be maybe just as good as a 10 megabyte hard disk that used to be what it was when I first started business. That's about all. You're very happy if you got 5 megabytes, okay? So times have changed, and so today our consciousness have changed. We have advanced as a human being. We have advanced in our mind, and so I chose this topic of consciousness because it's the ultimate secret, the ultimate thing that scientists and the religious people are trying to decipher it, unravel it, to understand it. And I am blessed in my life that I grew up in the country of Malaysia, and so it's a very creative place. It's multiracial. It is different cultures that I learned, different languages, dialects. So it helped me have what I thought I never had, a creative mind. And so I thought about flow, how important it is for me with that object to write objective of writing a book on consciousness. So I had to have, number one, what I call the VHD, 3 aspects to remember what to do when you want to have a flow. You got to have a vision. You got to have a vision of what you're seeing that you want to build or complete when it's finished. How is it going to affect people? How is it going to help people? What is it going to do to excite people? And that was the vision that I had, that I can do this, right? And I saw it, I thought about it, and one day just in Kuantan town, I had witness of it. My brother was there, and my nephew too was there, and at different times, and I shared with them my inspiration of this vision that started on a little town there where I started all those stories about the MH370 and all the mysteries. That's where it started, alright? So my creativity, I guess, not that it started there, but it compounded and it sort of hit like what they call a point of explosion, where suddenly everything made sense, alright? So from there, I had that vision, and then I knew that it's good having a vision, but how are you going to get there? How are you going to achieve what you visualize? And so you see, we need to ask ourselves some questions of the age, which is like, how am I going to do it, right? How? And then what is there to do? You need to do something. What are you supposed to do? And the most important reason maybe is, why do it this way? Why do this? So you got to have what you call these habits of developing yourself to ask yourself these questions. So you got to have a vision. You got to understand how you're going to achieve this vision, right? And then lastly, right? The D part is how are you going to develop those habits. And this is it. If I cannot develop those habits, as you see me do in this short video, if I cannot develop these habits without thinking, I just didn't have to think. To talk to you now, to play this keyboard, or to work on my desk with my computer, my scanners, my phones, and everything around me, it has just been a habit that I knew from when I was young. If I just learn good habits, I don't have to think so much. I can reserve my brain for other things like creating something, like solving a problem. Not just, trying to think too much with clutter that we get today. Too much clutter that we confuse. There are many people who are mentally ill, or even maybe have mild depression, or even serious depressions that I have come to know in my life. And I enjoy talking to them because I get to learn about the human mind, about what happens when there's a short circuit. And so part of my book will help people understand this critical illness that's happening because of computer technology, because of all this automation that we are now driven. You don't drive your car anymore, the car is going to drive you. So we lose our consciousness of things. Things are controlling us. So do not let that happen, because free agency and that free mind is the genius of the human being. So as you know, those who read my Facebook, I like acronyms. You just learn about VHD, about developing these habits, right? Development is important. I have used my acronym that's stuck in my Facebook today for quite a while, CSF. And CSF is about connecting, in my acronym, connecting to people. That's why I connect to these people who have mild depressions, who are a bit crazy and even lunatic. But I still befriend them, I still spend time with them, I have lunch with them, I talk to them, I listen to them, and I try to be patient with them. And of course try to advise them. But you see, they need more than advice. They need a friend. They need to be loved. They need to get back their consciousness to be grounded and to understand and fix, whatever assumptions, presumptions, and habits that they had developed, to change them. Right? So CSF is first to connect. And if you have to change, you've got to connect to other people. If you mix with lunatics, you become a lunatic. If you mix with other people who are more reasonable, who have a way or rationale of explaining things, you connect to them and you will learn how to do it. So I've learned a lot by connecting to families and friends. They are my favorite. Next, S. S stands for, after I connect with these people, I synergize with them. Crazy people can be the best programmers, right? Computer programmers. They can solve problems. They may have autism, they may have different type of whatever man classifies as a disease. To me, it's just possibilities of our brain, all right? And they may need some correction. And so by synergizing with these people who somehow can produce something that I cannot, and they cannot produce something I can. So through synergizing, collaboration is what we're doing now in New Malaysia. It's a new opportunity, like a fresh page, to restructure again, to re-engineer Malaysia, and to be able to, through the collaboration of these multi-races, whether they're Muslims, Christians, Hindus, Buddhists, that's variety, diversity in variety, and it is wonderful. So synergize with people, and you'll find that I produce $100 million in 1 year, ringgit, okay? And because Americans synergized with me, I knew one of them didn't think much about local management. He thought he knew everything. We were trying to get $1 billion for the company, and you know what? That one man took over and he drove it down to $100 million or less. I mean, 100 million is still a lot of money, but that's nothing compared to $1 billion. So I quit, everyone left, and eventually, they're just some company trying to live on old history. We're a changing world, so if you don't have the conscience to change, I'm sorry folks, you're the have-been, the has-been, right? Last, that's why F stands for futurize. You gotta do everything, you connect to people, you synergize for a future, because there's always a future. Today will be over, will be a yesterday, and tomorrow is coming. And after tomorrow, it's next year, next century, and I'm gonna live, I hope, up to 100 years old, but it's still another quite number of years of future for me. So I have therefore futurized my life to be a writer, to help others before I die to understand these concepts while I'm still alive, full of energy, to explain to grade 8 or 9 students, right, which is all the intelligence you need. Maybe that's Form 4 or 5 for Malaysian standard in Asia. Enough intelligence to understand my stories, and from the stories their brain will construct the philosophies, the methodologies. They will understand, because it's not me who's smart who's trying to teach you. I'm using your smart brain in a way that you'll be able to learn faster. Alright? And so I was a fantastic part about this consciousness is that sometimes mysterious things happen. I call it spiritual. I follow the body, mind, spirit, the Asian tradition. Plato called it, he called it, for one, appetites. Okay, so for a blip second there, I had to change and switch, but then, I got this habit of switching, so sometimes my practice isn't good enough. So it's about memory. It's about him saying first, it is your appetites, which is your body. Then he talks about reason. Of course, that's a mind. But he left the same spirit as what we do in Asia. We still kept the spirit. And he didn't talk much about it. But today, the spiritualists and the scientists are getting together and they begin to explain that more. And I can explain to you in simplicity, see. Because I came across CSF one day with my son playing his computer, and I was watching this video. I got excited. I saw CSF on a scientific video by a guy who's a medical doctor and a PhD, and he did his PhD in Harvard, and he came up with CSF, cerebral spinal fluid. Wow, that's a tongue twister, remember? But I can do it. It's habit. Just repeat it. Cerebral spinal fluid. That fluid is just 1.5 liters, right? And that's a liter of a carton of milk, and 1.5 is just a little bit. Is what is required in washing our brain. It's in our skull. The liquid that covers our brain washes the brain and goes down our spinal cord right to our backbone, right to the end of your backbone. And this fluid, this scientist and others. Of course, all these scientists don't agree. Einstein can disagree with the latest scientists and so forth. But it's all about, what you call reason, and different people have different reasons. But there's reason to believe that this liquid, right, is so important. It protects our brain from getting concussion. Like I had an accident in 1985. See my scar, collision with a head-on truck. But I'm alive here, and I'm still mentally sane to talk to you. And I continue to study, lifelong learning, to be able to speak to you the knowledge I have. This thing protected my brain from being crushed. That shock, the brain is a matter there, it's and you hit it against the hard skull, it can just burst. But the liquid was there to protect my brain. And this liquid goes down all the way down your body. Why? It's your whole spinal cord, your system that connects to your brain, your hippocampus, your outer cortex of reason, of memory, of your reflexes, your body system. That fluid washes the whole system. So I'm grateful that my initial CSF stand for something scientific that is created by a very smart scientist and also a spiritual person. And so this world is very exciting. That's why I'm excited to write this book. I'm excited to publish it soon. I'm very happy that I got it. Once you get it, you got it. So, and I've gotten over and over again, like they say Newton, the apple falls in your head. Mine just fell on my head many times, and it just sparked one neural cell to another neural cell. The neurons started sparking, and suddenly I'm all connected to all the different knowledge, and I'm not a lunatic. Believe me, I'm a very rational person. I'm Mr. Mum, a father, a consultant, a church leader, a community man, a friend. Even a friend to lunatic today that I've been still trying to help out online, and advise him that I think I cannot help you at this stage. You better go and see a psychiatrist. Whom I have helped some people where I tried to help them first, but you see, there's always an expertise in every field. I'm an expertise in human consciousness. I'm not a psychiatrist, I'm not a psychologist, but I can understand student, I can understand a child. I've raised 6 children. I understand marriage, I have a family. I understand businesses because I ran many businesses. I have know what academic is about, what studying is about. I'm even lecturing today. It's all possible because of the consciousness that you have that, believe me, is really free. Everything else you pay for, but this consciousness, if you know how to develop it, how to manage it, then you can become a calm person, excited and really gung-ho when you want to, but at peace when there are challenges and problems, when the enemies surround you, then you can be calm and peaceful and know the strategy of what to do. The habits, not to develop habits then, but to have already developed those habits, so that every day, starting with my Monday, I can just do all those things you see in my video that I did without thinking. Thank you very much for listening to me. All the best to you in your life, and continue to watch what I have free on Facebook and on my blogs. But my book, it's not going to be expensive, but it's going to be wonderful. Thank you for listening.